Man, I wish the
Yeah,
actual
can you please roll 12 dice? And then can you please roll your charisma plus negotiation plus 2 dice?
Negotiation roll +2.
Well, first roll 12 dice, then roll negotiation plus 2.
Nice.
So you fix it because you're back. Well, I've got what I can tell you. Then I've got what I can tell you for 1,000 yen. What do you want?
Tell me everything you know. You'll have the new yen within a minute.
Yeah, alright, so Montgomery Financials was an unrated corp based out of Renton. They did a number of money movement and managements for clients over the city. Pretty good at it too. That's why they got bought out and their staff transferred out. They're now incorporated into a A-rated accounting and economics corp hosted downtown. All the staff have moved over, just waiting for the building to be demolished. There was a bit of funny business a couple of months back with the building owners, though. Montgomery Financials didn't own the building; they just rented it on a long-term basis. There's a bunch of new owners based out of Vancouver, it seems. Yeah, so maybe that's a front for whoever you're working for. Do you know the kind of work you're doing?
Demolitions.
Probably an insurance scam.
Sounds like it. If the Triad
own the building, then they can't exactly have any triads connected to blowing it up, can they? Classic.
Yeah. Your standard insurance fraud. Only most of the time that's on houses, not office buildings.
A 16-story office tower.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of insurance.
All right. Anything else I should be aware of? Or?
Looks like you got a fairly standard sort of job, just don't mishandle the devices. They can be twitchy.
Oh yeah, slow and steady. Gonna have to make sure that the building's unoccupied when we're putting it in, but it shouldn't be too hard.
Well, good luck. Tell me how it goes.
Roger that.
Yeah, so Tactic got their call back from their folks. Bunny's sort of sitting around waiting for the initial recon. And Book is doing the initial recon. Any other actions anybody would like to take?
Well, I do want to voice a sort of idea I had in character, like as he's doing the recon. So, we know that this building is going to get demolished soon. If any of you can manage to get into contact with the demolition company, we could always act like we're a preliminary team sent in to start setting up the explosive necessary. That would give us both a reason to be there and a reason to tell the squatters to frag off.
Why did you think I asked if your van had a chameleon coating? It's really easy to put some corporate branding onto the side of a van and get into wherever you need to go.
It's an SUV,
well, I know
van, but yeah.
It is still used, like, again, in the description it says like that the hauler is used exactly for this sort of thing, apparently. But in character, I do have a person I could talk to about that. Clayton Crawford, you know the guy? He could probably fix up the van for a bit of nuyen. The uniforms I sadly can't. What did you say, Kaiser?
Oh, basically just I trust you, guy. Uniforms. I don't know if I know anyone who can make anything, but
So, Booker,
well,
you've noticed a couple of things already, even though it's been only an hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
The first is that the guards are patrolling in groups of 2, and that the building is cordoned off behind 10 feet of chain link fence. The guards are walking on the inside of the chain link fence, doing patrols every 15 minutes or so, and each pair of guards is walking with a leashed and collared hellhound. You see nothing more dangerous looking than pistols on their hips and stun batons, slung off their belt. And the guards are casually joking and looking around. They only seem to
So
be
you're
wearing armored vests, and they look more like rent-a-cops than professional security.
Yeah, I was about to say these look like standard rent-a-cops. Do I see any drones on
Well,
the
I
perimeter?
hadn't finished.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So, for the security devices, you notice that along the top of the fence is strung both monowire and proximity wire, meaning that going over the fence at any point will be both dangerous in that you could cut yourself to ribbons and it could set off alarms. The building's fence does have a description of the personal protective equipment required and how all visitors should sign into the site office. A prefabricated container office sitting currently empty outside the building. There's a small workyard beside it, as it seems the building has been partially stripped. You
All
don't
right.
see many squatters except high up in the building, above the 12th floor, where you see a few faces peeking out of windows every so often. They look ragged and distinctly not all together there.
Squatters.
Camera-wise, you see a number of camera suites set up on poles outside the building to cover the exterior. There's 4 of those. As for cameras inside the building, you don't know. There's no drones involved in this security, but there are a couple of night errant drones casually making lazy passes over the neighborhood. You saw 2.
So nothing out of the ordinary.
Nothing particularly out of the ordinary so far. With all of
Does
this
any?
with all of this information, what would everybody like to do?
Well, one last question. Does anything in that time drive up to the building, or is the building completely ignored by the outside world?
The building is completely ignored by the outside world.
All right, then yeah, go.
You notice that the power on the building isn't even on. You can't see a single light inside it.
which means that there might be an external generator on site powering the cameras. Take that out, things would get a lot easier. Perhaps.
You can't see the generator, but you can definitely hear that one is somewhere on the site. It may be in the first floor of the building.
Just question. My drones are equipped with radio signal scanners. If I try to just scan the frequencies, is there something that would look like the signature of a active generator?
No, the radio signal scanners are for wireless communications rather than like determining the electrical manipulations of a generator.
No, that's exactly what I was saying. Like, is there like a generator running wireless somewhere, like sending its, I don't know, output or something?
How about you roll a matrix perception then? With what's the sensor limit on your drones?
3. I do not have matrix perception. I don't have computers. So I'd have to.
Then you can't use it.
You can't default.
Well, you can roll intuition -1. But
I'll try that. By the way, Booker will have popped psych when the
cool.
drop started.
If you're looking for an icon on the Matrix, it's Matrix Perception.
Hot damn. That is actually my limit.
Well, good to know. You can't actually find any icon for a generator.
With that roll, can I ask any other questions, or was it just for the generator?
Well, you were looking for a generator. That's what the roll is for.
All right.
Is Booker still observing the place?
Oh, definitely. It's still only about 2 p.m. There's still another 4 or 5 hours worth of Booker's observation that they said they were doing.
Yep.
Because something that springs to mind, if the squatters are looking out of it, the obvious implication is that they're on drugs. But if they're being penned in by the guards, then how are they getting their drugs? Either it's not drugs and it's something else, or someone's able to get in a supply to them. I think we need to find out why exactly they're behaving oddly.
Well, Clayton Crawford is a legwork contact with specialization in gangs. Could I call him up, since we are going to call him up anyway?
So,
to
yeah.
fix up the car?
So you're calling him Clayton Crawford. So he's like, hey. What do you want? Hey.
Ah, Clayton, my friend.
Yeah.
So, first off, I'm gonna need your skills of fixing up a car in a
Don't do that.
few hours.
I don't do cars. It's a motorcycle shop I run.
Wait, 1 second. Out of character. Alvian, it says here, has an automotive facility to work on your vehicle unless it's a sports bike.
I always knew him as a motorcycle ganger. Yeah, it's always been he's a go ganger with motorcycles and so on. In fact, he gives you a discount if you have a Scorpion.
Really?
But
I don't see
when it
That's
says
not-
automotive facility, it generally means you can work on your car there. But anyway.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. Wait a second. I'm confused now. So would we be able to use his? Okay. Well,
You
if
can
you
use
don't
this
want to do
facility,
it,
but you're going to have to do the work.
shit. Then I don't have. Well, would you know someone that could fix up a car to look like a construction company? Then, Clayton, my friend.
And if you need a discreet paint job, then yeah, sure. I can put you in contact with a couple of people.
That's good. But I also need your services for something that I think is a bit more up your alley. Gangs and drugs.
Yeah, I know about them.
So there's this building here in Renton. Let me send you a quick description. And I literally sent him the image of the building. There's a few squatters living in there, and there's some winter night security sitting outside, and we're wondering, how exactly are these squatters getting their supplies, seeing as, winter night? And I was wondering if you knew if anyone was operating in that area, and
Yeah.
if we could perhaps get in contact with them.
Dunno, they're squatters. They're not wearing colours.
But do you know if anyone might be interested, or if anyone is operating in that area, selling drugs? I mean, 200, 300 squatters living in a building must be a bit of a paycheck, at least for someone.
Do you know there's 200 or 300 squatters living in the building? I don't see that many squatters.
That's what our Johnson told us.
I suggest you think carefully. There's not 200 or 300 people living in there. You'd see many more colours if there was that many people in that many gangs.